Hello everyone, welcome to Peach on Earth Tarot. Today I'm going to be doing a reading for Capricorn. You can have Capricorn anywhere in your chart. You can be a cross watcher. All that I ask is that if you're here watching this reading, that you come with good intentions for yourself and for others. Just right off the bat, when I was saying that, I got a really strong urge to want to eat something sweet. So you could be having like some cravings, because actually I was like, oh, I should have taken a drink before I started this reading. And then it was like, oh, I want something sweet, like almost instantly after I had that thought about the water. So maybe you could be having like a sweet tooth right now, or you're craving something a little bit sweeter in life than what you've been going through. Okay, so when I was shuffling the cards, I had some messages come through, and they were kind of like, with each deck came certain messages, and so it feels like with each of the decks there's like a different message for you guys, but all the messages tied together. But I might not even use all the decks, so I'm not really sure if that is going to come into play. I just wanted to kind of mention it. But so the very first message that I got for you guys when I was just sitting down before I started shuffling or anything was about like being deliberate. I was being very deliberate in my movements and the way that I was like, it was almost like a ritual, the way that I was sitting down and like going through everything. And then the second message was going through a breakup. Now, this doesn't have to necessarily mean a romantic breakup. It could be spiritual. It could be a job. It could be a friendship. It could be so many different things. Just there's something in your life that feels like it's breaking up. And it's interesting too, because after that came a message of like building with intuition and intention. And that's the thing, is like when something breaks up, we have to like kind of rebuild. And so whatever it is that's breaking up in your life, the way forward is to really let your intuition guide you and be deliberate in making actions that are in line with your intuition. Because that's the intention you want behind all of your things, right? Like behind all of your movement through life, is like your intuitive intention. Okay, so, and then I was getting a message that you're going back and forth between being happy and sad. So if this is like a romantic relationship that's breaking up, it could be like, one minute you're super happy that this is happening, it's the best thing for you and whatever, and then the next moment you're like sad about it because it's a huge part of your life that's no longer going to be there. And it's natural to mourn it, but even though it's like it's a good thing for you, it doesn't mean that you're not going to go through the emotions of losing something. And like I said, it doesn't have to be a romantic relationship. It can be a job. It can be so many different things. I'm getting something about like your home environment. That was coming through strongly when I was getting into your guys' energy. And then I heard jealousy. So, and I put a question mark after it because it's like, you're not actually jealous, I don't think. What's happening is like, if you're quitting a job, you're almost like, you don't like feeling replaceable. If you're losing a relationship, you don't like the fact that maybe with their next partner, your current partner, the one that you've recently ended things with, that they're going to take what they've learned in the relationship with you and apply it towards another relationship. Stuff like that. Even though that's a good thing, it's like you've done your job, and it just doesn't mean you've learned things too. It's not like it was a one-sided thing. You've also learned things, and you've also grown and figured out what your next steps need to be, and then they also need to figure out what their next steps need to be. And then the last message was sorting through it all, physical and mental. And that's where the whole like the physical environment came in, is like, so say you broke up with a partner and and you live together, and now you're sorting through all your things, like, whose is this? Whose is this? Like, okay, so say you bought like a couch together. It's like, who gets to keep the couch? Stuff like that. And that's where the whole like intention and intuition also comes through. It's like, don't say you want to keep something out of spite because you're jealous that they're getting to keep like the couch or whatever. But also don't bend to someone else's will, but just really, really think about what it is that you actually want to keep in your life. And even if you're not breaking up with a partner, it's I'm getting the message that like maybe you're needing to do like some spring cleaning. Excuse me. Like, go through your environment. It's like the Marie Kondo method, where it's like you go through your whole entire house, you touch every single thing that you own and see if it brings you joy. If you truly, truly want it, then keep it. But if it doesn't bring anything to your life, then get rid of it. And I'm getting that message really strongly. And it's the same thing with relationships. Like, go through all of your relationships and like, are they bringing joy to you? Like, it's just kind of like you're going through a phase where you're needing to just like clean up house. Spiritually, mentally, physically, all three. Because that's the thing too, is like when the whole message about like this stuff, like sparking joy thing came through, it was also like, it's not just the physical environment, it's also your emotions. It actually almost started coming in as emotions. It was like, oh, because I got this like compartmentalization card, or not card, but like I saw this card that reminded me of compartmentalization. And it was like, you need to go through your emotions and like, instead of like keeping them separate, you have to figure out how they can all work together. So yeah, and that's what you want in your physical environment too. Like, you don't want your place to be like, to stress you out. You want it to be a cohesive space for you. Okay. We have spiritual awakening and divine wisdom. Yeah, I mean, with this energy that was coming through, like the whole like cleaning out the clutter, and maybe with whatever ending is coming into your life, whether it's a relationship or not, it's you are it's like being cleared out so you can only grow. It's like, so you can only, like, you can't get more divine wisdom if you don't get rid of this. Because it's like you've grown as much as you possibly can in your current environment. And it's just like with a job, right? Maybe you feel like you can't grow anymore. You can't get promoted. You've learned everything you need to do. Like, everything that's coming like across your desk, so to speak, is like just feeling kind of like, yeah, I'm going to do it with, like, you're going to be deliberate about it because you're a Capricorn, and Capricorns, that's just the energy they show up in the world with, is like, if you're going to be doing something, you're going to be doing it to the best of your ability. And so it's like you show up and you do good work, but it's like you're no longer growing from it. Same thing with a relationship. It's like you're not growing under this canopy anymore. Like, you need to go like find your next adventure. You need to go find what else you need to build in the world. Hang on a second. I just got a message about like the build your own adventure books. That might just be like a confirmation for someone. Maybe you really like those kinds of things. Yeah. So we're going to go ahead and see what wants to come through with the tarot here for you guys. But so whatever this reading is about, it's definitely about your divine wisdom. Hang on. Spiritual awakening. Yeah, it's like, it's about your next step in your spiritual process and where you're meant to be headed. Okay. When I just said that, I heard like where you're not where you're meant to be headed, like where you're meant to be going towards, but it was like I heard like beheaded. It's almost like you're just like cutting something off completely, and it's like, you know, someone's head gets cut off, they cease to exist. It is no longer. So maybe you're treating something like that where it's like, or even, sorry, I jump thoughts sometimes, but you just like, you're cutting it off, clean break. But I'm getting that with the whole like going through your environment too. It's like you're going to go through with that very clear intention of being deliberate about what you want to keep and what you do not want to keep. Like, and that'll make it go faster because it seems like such a daunting process. But like when you go in with the intention, like, just do it. And then you do it and you're like, you get rid of so much. So just as an example, this is really interesting. I have so many tarot decks, and a little while ago I got this message that I needed to go through and get rid of some of them because I wasn't utilizing their energy, right? I was holding on to them for a not pure reason. And then so I decided to sit down and go through all of them, and I got rid of like probably 20 or 30 decks. And probably about 20, maybe 25. But anyway, and I had literally done the same thing like 2 weeks before, and I could only bring myself to get rid of one of the decks. One. And then I sat down again 2 weeks later with a different intention and got rid of 20 to 30, you know? So, and by clearing out your space, it gives you room to clear out your mind, you know, like with this spiritual awakening, divine wisdom, like when you clean your space, it opens up. When you clean your space, when you clean your body, when you clean like internal or external of your body, when you clean anything, it opens up more space for divinity to come in. It's like cleaning out the clutter, you know, mentally, physically, amorously, they said, like in your romantic relationships, financially. So that's another thing that it could be too, is like, go through all of your bills and make sure you're not like paying for things that you don't utilize, you know? Like, I've actually, this could very well be a message for me. I am a Capricorn, but sorry, hang on. But it's like I've been meaning to go through and like cancel some subscriptions and stuff, and I haven't. And so, you know, I need to do that because it's very important. I'm not utilizing them, so I need to get rid of them. Okay, the High Priestess is here. I love that she came out. And then the Hermit. So, you know what's interesting? I didn't want to speak on this because I wasn't sure. But I was feeling like this reading was a continuation of the Sagittarius reading. And like, don't go watch it if you don't feel called to, but I was really picking that up in the beginning before I started the recording. And then I'm bringing it up now because this Hermit card played a big part in the Sagittarius reading. And in the High Priestess, it's like, so you could very much say you are ending a relationship. It's like you're not even wanting to think about that right now. And maybe it's like, maybe that's why you're doing like the whole jealous thing. Like maybe the other person like jumped into something really fast, or or they are going to, or you get the sense that they are, and you get jealous because it's like, I'm not at that point. I don't want to jump into anything. Why are they at that point? Well, because you guys are on two different journeys, right? And your journey right now is to have a spiritual awakening. Like, even if you've already had one, okay? If you've already had one, it's time to have another one. You are getting a lot of downloads because we have the High Priestess, we have Divine Wisdom and Spiritual Awakening, and the Hermit card. Those are all super spiritual, like super spiritual cards. And the Sagittarius reading was also very spiritual. So what I'm going to do is, I feel like this is just supposed to be the only card. Well, and oh my gosh, and the sun's out there. Now this is interesting because I moved my thing and now it's all messed up. This is really interesting because in the Sagittarius reading, it's like they were being drawn towards the sun. The sun was reaching out for them, but it was in a totally different card. But look, this sun has hands on it. It wasn't even this card that I was saying the sun was reaching out for them. The sun, your sun is drawing you because the Hermit is drawn by their light. It's like they follow their own guidance. And that their light right here represents their intuition, okay? So they're following their intuition, and so their intuition is the sun. It's just contained in this tiny little orb, right? And so you're on this journey towards your ultimate fulfillment, but unbeknownst to you is that energy is also reaching out to you. It's trying to pull you in as well. Just with that sun card, that's the message. And I definitely think that you're getting like just a ton of downloads right now, and it is pushing you towards your ultimate path, like, or it's like pushing you forward on your most like divinely guided path. But it's a lonely feeling, you know, because the High Priestess is always by herself. She is like the portal between the realms, you know, like she has access to the Akashic records, and even just being that energy, like having the knowledge of, it's interesting they're pointing out this card too was on the bottom of this deck, this Mother Earth card, because it's like, that's a very High Priestess energy right there. You know, it's like she's watching over Earth. It's like she's sitting in the moon and she's watching over Earth. And I know it can be really lonely, but there are other energies out there like this. There are other people out there like this that you can spend time with. Like, yeah, they're usually few and far between, but I don't know. So I'm going to pull some more cards with another deck to kind of like see what this journey like entails here for you. Because yes, we know you're on like some kind of spiritual journey, and that you are definitely learning to act with intention. If you're not already acting with that intuitive intention, you're well on your way. I think clearing out your space will definitely help. What is the message for Capricorn? I almost even said Sagittarius just now. So twice the card is almost, I'm like up on a high like tabletop, and twice now the High Priestess almost fell to the ground, but then my leg caught it. Now this card almost fell to the ground and my leg caught it, like it between my legs. You have strength. Yeah, I mean, I really feel like this, and then the Fool on the bottom. So I honestly feel like this energy is, or this reading is really just meant to confirm how you're feeling, confirm that that you're not crazy, like, for wanting to go down this path. You're not. Because the Fool energy here, it's like, it takes a lot of strength to be in the Fool energy. It takes a lot of will to just be like, I know I don't know what's off. Like, because the Fool card, he's like walking off of a cliff, right? And he has every faith that the universe will catch him. And he's not wrong. Like, he's absolutely not wrong. The universe will catch him. But it's scary, but it's like, what is that saying where it says, courage is not the absence of fear, but like choosing to act in spite of it, or something like that. And it's totally true. Like, that is courage. Like, yeah, you're scared shitless, like, to leave behind whatever it is you're leaving behind, but you know that there's something further down your path that is way, 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 way better for you. Even if you have to be on your own path right now for a little while. When I just said for a little while, it made me think of, there's like this mashup of Bill Hicks and George Carlin, like two of like their bits, and it's called The Big Electron. It turned into like, they turned it into like a techno song kind of. It's like, and he's like, George Carlin says that for a little while, or does Bill Hicks say that part? No, Bill Hicks says that part, where it's like, yeah, we're on this crazy ride that is life, and it takes us up and down and round and every which way. You should maybe go watch that. And then this is like, for a little while. Yeah, we're on this ride for a little while, but actually the ride doesn't stop. Even after we're gone from this earth, in my opinion, you don't have to have these same beliefs, but I truly believe that we continue on and continue our journey, whether we come back and reincarnate here on earth, or if we incarnate in another dimension, in another planet, in another realm, or if we just like ascend frequently, or frequencies, like, I don't know. But I truly, truly believe that we don't just die, we transform. And that's the thing too. What is that? That's another thing that I want to quote, where it's like, nothing ever dies, it only transforms, or something. So like, whatever is ending here, it's only a transformation to whatever you need to be doing next. Okay, so let's go ahead. We're going to get you some advice here. I forgot I was going to get some advice, so let me move these a little bit. Actually, I'm going to pause it and move them around to where I see fit. Okay, sorry about that. I'm just really anal about like the cards lining up, and like it's really hard to get them to line up and stuff. So anyway, we are going to look, third eye's on the bottom, which this is all like, you really, really, if you're not in tune with your third eye, like you need to work on it. I don't think that you're not, because everything out here is like, this bitch is spiritual. Like, you have access to a lot of information, whether you're aware of it or not. You definitely do. So, okay, we are going to get some advice for a Capricorn. What's going to help Capricorn most move forward regarding this reading? What is Capricorn's advice? What's the advice for Capricorn, please? Advice for Capricorn, please. Advice for Capricorn. Okay, so it's interesting. We have pedestal. I don't know why I said it like that. Pedestal. That's weird. Maybe you like biking or something. Okay, I'm actually going to take this thing on the bottom too, which is focus, because I saw it earlier in the look. Oh my gosh, and underneath the focus card, that's, first off, that's 14, and this is 15, which is Capricorn energy, because the 15 card is it's the devil in the major arcana of the tarot, and that's the Capricorn card. But anyway, so like 15 I associate with Capricorn. So we have clearing on the bottom now that I took the focus card, which was in the Sagittarius reading too. That was their advice. And I really do think that you're needing to clear your energy physically and mentally and emotionally in a lot of ways. You're needing cleaned, like cleared. I'm hearing like the word detox, like you're needing to just detox everything, like not just your body, but your environment. There's a lot of toxins around you is what I'm getting. Because of like this layering here, it's like a bird and it ends with like almost like, it looks like another bird, but it feels like a fish. And it's almost like there's like a transition, like those look like fish bones to me and like fish. So, which is interesting. Well, no, that's not interesting. I was going to say something about Capricorn being a water goat, but I'm talking about air energy, which is the bird is the air energy, and then the fish is water energy. It's not earth in there. But anyway, there is. But anyway, it's focus. You need to focus on what you actually want to have on a pedestal, because this pedestal is broken, right? It no longer serves a purpose for what it once did. It used to be a pillar for something, like holding up a structure or something. But it is no longer. So now it needs a new function. That's the thing, is like you could have been holding up something on your shoulders for so long and you finally just broke. You finally were just like, I can't hold this up anymore. It's not working. If I don't break, if I don't stop supporting this, I'm going to just end up being of no good, like no function, right? It's almost like you can no longer hold whatever this is up. You just can't do it. But what you're needing to do now is like the whole, like, just as an example of going through every single item in your house. You go through every single item, you put it on this pedestal, right? Does it look fitting up there? Does it look like it's something that belongs in your environment? Does it look like something that belongs in your energy? Because if it does, wonderful. If it doesn't, goodbye. That's the energy that you're needing to go through now. And you have to like put your, like I said, your focus, like your, that intention and intuition. You have to put that energy into this project that you're doing. I am going to read these. I opened straight up to focus, you guys. That's so crazy. I opened the book and it was straight on to focus. My goals are before me, emotion, thought, and action, all in a single focus of their attainment. You hear that? Emotion, thought, and action. That's sorry. That's the intuition and intention. The intention is the emotion. The thought is the intuition, and the action is the action. They're all aligned. That's so crazy. Now there's more in there, but I don't want to read the rest. I want to go, because it wasn't actually out. It was the pedestal that came out. So I'll probably read the whole pedestal thing. Okay. Each moment, every person, equal in power, is a puzzle piece that has a placement in the tapestry of life. And that's the thing, is like, I think you just finished a puzzle, right? You finished a puzzle and you realize like, okay, this puzzle is done. I've learned everything I could from it. I focused all my energy into it, and now it's time to move on to a different puzzle. It's time to move on, to stop being that support. When we place a person or belief system on a pedestal, there becomes a need for them, it becomes a need for them or it to live up to the expectations. Because of the empath's intuitive nature, it can quickly become evident that the person on the pedestal is not up to the role. How often have you been in a presence of someone who you have looked up to and soon discovered their knowledge is lacking, or practiced a belief that became disappointing because you sensed something was missing in its interpretation? We must always strive to experience each moment belief in every person as an equal. The teacher quickly becomes the student when they are open to learning the higher aspects of their craft. The student can become empowered in the realization that without their quest for knowledge, there is no need for the presence of the teacher. That's really interesting. The student can become empowered in the realization that without their quest for knowledge, there is no need for the presence of the teacher. Each in an equal role, fulfilling a need, a balance of energy whose only goal is the moment. That's really beautiful and kind of poetic. I was getting a message though before that. What was the message? It's interesting too that it's talking about student teacher, because I'm seeing a lot of like of the same energy as the Sagittarius reading. I can't think of the word that I want to use. And their reading is about like they're on a solo journey right now because they need to become the teacher in the future. So it's like they're the student right now so they can become the teacher. And it's the same thing. It's like, but it's an equal relationship. It's a symbiotic relationship, student-teacher, right? Hang on, what was the message that I was supposed to give? The teacher quickly becomes the student when they are open to learning the higher aspects of their craft. The student can become empowered in the realization that without their quest for knowledge... No, that's something else. They're not giving it to me. They're not giving it to me. But I hope this was helpful, Capricorn. If it was, you can like, comment, share, subscribe. I thank any of you for being present today. Any of your guides that are present, any of my guides that are present from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much. And I'll see you soon. Bye.